Challenging labor. Spent an hour on the phone with Dani talking about it yesterday. Take me through, from your vantage point, everything that happened from the moment labor starts.
You want to start? So my wife is a superhero, really. She was due February 22nd, and Blakeley was born March 5th.
2 days shy of 42 weeks.
Which is when they have to.
Which is like 2.5 weeks past normal due date.
Yeah. Dani does so much research on her own. She's trying to do the mile circuit. There's all these different curb walking. We're reading books on these natural childbirthing ways. And when the moment finally came, or we thought came, was like 4 or 5 days before she actually gave birth. She was having Braxton Hicks for a long time, but she got like active labor contractions where they were really intense, and they were like a minute apart for like probably like an hour or two.
And you're thinking what?
So I'm thinking, this is it. Like it's like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Like this has to be it. We get Dani in the tub, and I'm just trying to help her be as comfortable as possible. And then luckily that kind of slowed things down, and she was able to calm back down, and the contractions slowly subsided. So we were like, did we miss the natural window? And then a couple days later, she got a membrane sweep, which sucks to be a part of. It sucks to see your wife go through that, where they go in and actually like sweep around in there to try to separate the membrane or whatever from her, so that it allows the baby to hopefully drop down lower to be birthed. And later that night at like 9 o'clock, she started getting contractions again. She's like, they're getting really intense. Call our doula and let her know what's happening. So Dani is literally in the bathroom, like leaning up on the counter, and I'm like, okay, like, so call Lisa and tell her what? She's like telling me everything to say. Tell her my contractions. You know, I'm kind of freaking out.
Yeah, right.
So I call Lisa.
Understandably so.
I call Lisa and I'm like, hey Lisa, Dani's having contractions, and Dani's like, what are you doing? Tell her everything that's happening. And I'm like, hold on, Dani wants to talk to you. Dani's like, no, you need to tell her exactly what's happening. Like, for whatever reason, the adrenaline kick that you get in that moment, I like froze, and I couldn't like articulate what was actually going on in the moment. But luckily I was able to gather myself and tell her.
Which is funny for you, somebody who's used to high pressure professional
no, trust me,
yeah.
It is nothing like playing football or playing in front of thousands of people, but we were able to get her to the hospital. This was probably like 3 in the morning now, or 4 in the morning.
Oh gosh, it was a wild ride for sure. You know, got to the hospital, thought I was gonna be ready to push. It was only 5 centimeters and took a lot more time, and then, you know, a lot of pain, a lot of back labor because of her position, 9 centimeters, stuck at 9 centimeters. Didn't get to 10 where I thought I was gonna be. You know, they were gloving up, they brought in the heater and everything, hours before, you know, and so, you know, it just was a lot of stalls, a lot of change of plan.
What's he doing? Is that
he was
Do you even remember?
He was truly amazing. Like I was like so out of it. I was in so much pain.
She wanted to go no pain meds, no nothing. She gets all the way to 9, and she's like, I can't take the pain anymore. She's like, I can't possibly take this pain anymore. And I'm like, Dani, are you sure? And she's like, it's the worst pain I've ever been in. Like, please take the pain away. And I'm like, one more time, you're 100% sure, like I know you want natural, but this is where it's my call here. So I'm like, she's like, we said before, like vacation is the word.
Yeah, we had a code word. It got to the point where I needed that code word and said I needed vacation. I needed some medicine.
So we called for an epidural at that point, and she had a bad experience with epidural in college. So she was really nervous to do that. And I just remember she was at 9 and she was getting contractions like every 45 seconds to a minute, and they're like, it's the most intense thing you've ever seen. Like, she's looking through you, like just almost out of body experience. And I just remember holding her as hard as I possibly could so she couldn't fall over while they try to stick this needle into her back, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm about to pass out because I don't want to see the needle either, but I'm trying to stay as strong as I can for her. And they did get a successful epidural, and then they're like, all right, Dani, well, let's rest. So she was able to rest for like another hour or two before we started pushing again. And it got to the point where the doctor said, your baby's heart rate is plummeting, like we need to do an emergency C-section right now. I just remember saying, can you please leave the room? I just need a minute, like, to talk to my wife.
What'd you say?
Whatever your decision is here, I am completely with you, but at the end of the day, we need to do what's best for our baby.
I was very set on what I wanted. And how he was there for me through it all. And it was a hard, unexpected process. And it was hard in the way as I wanted what was best for my baby. And for it to change plan, I did not want a belly birth, a C-section. And to have it come down to that after doing all the things that I did to get there, all the prep work, all the labor, and then to get to a point that it's no longer in my control, I got emotional. So he asked everyone to clear the room. They were like kind of taken back by that because they were like, we need to go now. But they cleared the room. We took like a couple deep breaths together. He kissed me and they wheeled me into the OR.
What about that, you telling it even gets to you right now?
Just how intense it is, man. It's so intense. The moment is just like, holy crap. We're in 2025 and this is still like life or death, it feels like, in that moment. I mean, people have died from having C-sections.
She said she's being read or right.
Yeah, exactly. And it sucks. It really does.
Did you have even fleeting concerns for her well-being?
Absolutely. That's the dilemma, is like, it's so heavy because there's those conversations, like we never truly had the conversation, like if I had to choose you or if I had to choose myself or the baby for her. And thankfully she was able to have a successful surgery, and I was able to be there with her behind the curtain. I know you asked where I was. I was behind the curtain. I didn't want to see that. I was ready for the vaginal part, but I wasn't ready for the C-section part. And that was a success. And to be able to see this human being that is half of me, half of her, is incredible.
I am so grateful for the way it went, because of the way that, like, we fell in love with each other all over again, times a million, I think. And obviously we got Blakeley at the end of it, but I think that was like, we went through hell and back in a few hours, I think. And so we've been tested many times before in our relationship with distance and hardships and injuries and all that stuff, but that was different.
What was your perspective in terms of it strengthening?
I wouldn't have wanted it to go any other way, as selfish as that sounds, because I didn't go through the pain, but it's been one of the best. It's brought us the best thing that's ever happened to us in Blakeley, and it's brought us so much closer together to see you go through that pain and suffering. To sacrifice so much for us and our family is like the most selfless thing that you could possibly do.
Yeah.
Aside from the physical part, what's the emotional journey?
I think that's the hardest thing that people, like our doula told us afterwards, is you're going to tell people your birth story and they're always going to just say, well, you just have a beautiful baby, so that makes everything all right. And while that's true, it doesn't minimize or mean that Dani's not still grieving or going through dealing with the emotions that come with what she went through. And I think that was really special, to allow her to feel those emotions and not feel abandoned in just saying, well, we have a healthy baby and I'm still alive, I should be happy. And I think we've had time to go through those emotions together and her to go through them separately. And she's working out. She looks amazing for dang near being 4 months post
And you couldn't work out for like, what, 10, 12 weeks or something?
For a while,
like that?
yeah, for about 10, 12 weeks.
What's been the biggest challenge with recovery?
I would say it was, like I said, it wasn't anything that I had planned for. So not planning for the surgery, recovery's a lot different. And then also because I had to recover from both, and most people recover from one.
Yeah.
that was hard. That was hard because I had obviously all internal wounds of all that labor and pushing. And then I had the surgery. So like I couldn't sit, I couldn't stand, I couldn't do this. Like, you know, I couldn't even get up to get Blakeley out of the little whatever bassinet that they have. Like he always had to bring her to me. And then even then I like couldn't feed her the way I wanted to because I couldn't put any pressure on any part of my body. And so like just to have him there, I mean, you go through something that you normally don't go through, to have him help me go to the bathroom and then to, you know, for me to like be screaming, help me, and looking at you and be like, how much longer? I think it was a lot for him to just keep cheering me through, and then to go through that, and then, you know, to see somebody live in so much pain. But I think we're both just so happy that we are parents, and that we know that we're not alone in it either, so.
So where's this boy that TJ was telling everybody that he was having?
He was so sure it was a boy, and he just kept saying, like, leading up to it, I would be absolutely shocked if it was a girl.
I was like 95% sure.
And then
yeah.
for him to announce it was just like the most special moment ever.
What do you remember from that?
I just remember being like, it's a girl? Like, I was like, that's kind of how I said it. And it was just complete shock.
Well, he said it too, kind of confused, because his fear going into it, he was so worried he was going to get it wrong, because like all the cords and like whatever.
No, slam the cords. Everybody, it's not that. Everybody says stuff is so swollen in these babies when they come out.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard horror stories of dads saying the wrong gender. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to take a second here and like fully be confident. But from that moment on, it was just like an insane amount of emotions, and to be able to see Dani, and that was hard too, because it's not like it's a situation where they can just immediately put the baby on her stomach. They have to go and do all these things, and they're like, well, do you want to go and see the baby? And I'm like, well, I don't want to go and meet her without Dani by my side. Like, she's half of this whole thing too, so you guys do what you have to do, and then bring the baby so we can meet Blakeley together, I thought was really important for the both of us.
Yeah. I just remember crying and screaming, my baby, my baby.
How's he as a girl dad?
Oh my gosh, he's the best. I tell him all the time, he's meant to be a girl dad. And I obviously, we did not have a preference at all, and we would still love to have a boy someday, but I always was like, he would die if he had a girl. Like, he'd be the best girl dad, and he truly is.